Alrighty, it's another new month, another new drone from DJI. This is the Mini 4 Pro, and I've had this now for the past 15 days. I got back from Las Vegas, commercial UAV, and this was waiting at my doorstep, and I immediately started putting this to work. Like the first day, I put this through a tracking test on a boat for a paid gig, and I think it did amazing. And I actually shared some of the results on Instagram, which some of you guessed right as to what that drone was. I'm sorry I couldn't respond to you, but yeah, you were right. It was the Mini 4 Pro. And in this video, I'm gonna give you my overall opinions after using it for 15 days. Not a lot has changed as far as the build design goes, and there's not like these massive new features here that we need to spend a lot of time. So this is gonna be a relatively short first impressions video, but I'm gonna be doing a series of videos on the Mini 4 Pro because there's a lot of little things that we need to talk about, but it's gonna take different videos in order to be able to do that. With that being said, let's get started. What's good, everybody? Ken here. You're watching OriginaldoBo. Mini 4 Pro, had it now for 15 days, and I gotta say, it's been an absolute little joy to use. They went ahead and made some minimal upgrades on this drone that make the overall experience much better than it was on the Mini 3 Pro. And it's only till you put both the Mini 3 Pro and the Mini 4 Pro side by side that you can see the physical differences. And then if you compare the footage side by side, you can actually see the changes that they made as far as performance goes when it comes to the camera department. But with that said, these are minimal changes. I don't want you to go running out buying the Mini 4 Pro because you think you have to have it. If you have the Mini 3 Pro or an Air 3 or a Mavic 3, you shouldn't have to go run out and purchase this drone. I would only say buy this if you are looking for a backup, but if you're somebody who is looking for their first drone or maybe an upgrade over a Mini 2 or Mini 1, or even an older DJI drone, or if you have an Autel, does anybody still have an Autel drone? If you have one of those, then you definitely should be looking to upgrade to a Mini 4 Pro. That's a worthy successor. But otherwise, you shouldn't have to run out and buy it. But if you're still interested in hearing my thoughts, let's get right into it with the overall build design. So the build design of this drone has changed ever so slightly. We now have this brand new omnidirectional obstacle avoidance, which I did get a chance to test, and I gotta say it works pretty damn good. I'm actually very impressed with this. This will now protect your drone in 360 degrees, which is pretty badass. We now also have larger ventilation in the rear, which will help push some of that heat and dissipate out the back end, which is important. In Florida, it gets very hot. In hotter climates, the Mini 3 Pro would struggle, but with the Mini 4 Pro, I didn't really notice any struggles, which I thought could be attributed to the better ventilation that this drone offers. You'll also notice we now have landing gear on the front. I think this was one of the biggest complaints we got on the Mini 3 Pro. As a matter of fact, some people were even 3D printing their very own landing gear for the Mini 3 Pro so it didn't teeter side to side when landing. Not everybody wants to hand catch things, Russ. I like to hand catch too, Russell. Just joking. The Mini 4 Pro can now be stable when landing, which is pretty damn important. Other than that, from the underside, we now have a light, 2 sensors. We also have an infrared sensor on the bottom as well, but pretty much it's still the same. Another nice thing is they left the same batteries in this drone. So the batteries are the same batteries from the Mini 3 Pro, the Mini 3. So if you have the extended range batteries, you can use those batteries on this drone as well, which I think is pretty important. This means that if you are buying this drone, you've owned a previous Mini generation, like Mini 3 Pro, Mini 3, you can utilize the same batteries, which is pretty sweet. I don't think it's a good idea to always be changing the batteries or redesigning the batteries, especially if there's nothing wrong with the previous generation, which I thought the Mini 3 batteries were absolutely perfect. I have no problems with them, and I have multiple cycles on the batteries, no swelling, no problems, no dead cells. So I think that speaks volumes of the quality on those batteries. All right, another thing that's changed, but only internally, is the camera. Now this is the same camera essentially as the Mini 3 Pro, which is a 1/1/3 sensor. However, they did improve the image processing sensor, which allows for better dynamic range. It also gives us access to new color profiles such as Dlog-M and hybrid log gamma. If you're somebody who likes to produce HDR content, you'll be happy to know that it can now do that with ease. We also are capable of shooting up to 4K 100 frames per second, which I never really found myself filming at 4K 100 or even 4K 120 on any other drone. Most of the time I'm at 4K 48 frames per second, but if you're somebody who wants that slower frame rate or the ability to slow footage down even more, you'll be happy to know 100 frames per second is here. We still retain that true vertical mode where the gimbal can actually rotate in a vertical fashion. I really love the vertical mode on the Mini 3 Pro. I'm glad to see that it's over on the Mini 4 Pro and it's not actually cropping in on the footage. I like and feel that shooting native vertical just is better as far as content and framing purposes than shooting and cropping from like a 16:9 to a 9:16. I feel like we lose less resolution and the image just looks better overall. So I'm really happy to see that here on this drone. Overall, I think the images look fantastic. We still have that 48 megapixel photo mode, which I don't know if it's really worth photos in 48 megapixels because as far as the image quality goes, at least for what I do, I don't think it really matters too much. But I did go ahead and shoot a ton of comparison footage between the Mavic 3 Pro, Air 3, Mini 3, and the Mini 4 Pro, along with some additional footage from the Mini 4 Pro. So I'm gonna play all of that right now for you. Alrighty, so what did you think of that footage? Personally, I'm very impressed with the Mini 4 Pro. I think that new image processor does a great job with the highlights. It just looks a little bit more filmic, I guess, if I had to say, than the Mini 3 Pro. And I know it's just marginally better, but it's marginally better in the right direction. And the fact that we now have a full Dlog-M is really nice. I always felt that D-Cinelike was very hard to color grade, so much so I actually had to make my own LUTs for it because I could just never find a LUT that would put the right saturation and just the right overall look for the image. So Dlog-M I think is really fantastic and it does an amazing job when it comes to dynamic range. Now, I did test out Active Track on this drone, and I gotta say Active Track is equally impressive as well. I put this in the standard color profile and I rode my one wheel through the woods, and I just wanted to see how far I could actually push it or if the drone would even be able to follow me through this wooded area. And what I found was the Mini 4 Pro did an amazing job of avoiding any and all obstacles, and it only got itself stuck, I think, twice where I had to fly it out of the trees, but it never crashed and it never touched a tree branch, and it did a great job of keeping itself in the air and instead of on the ground. I think it did an amazing job, and I think that's part to the fact that we now have this fantastic 360-degree obstacle avoidance. I don't really use it often, but it's nice to know that it works so much better than the previous generation. I have a buddy, Sean, who literally has crashed like 3 of these Mini 3 Pros, and I'm like, how did you do it? I'm almost gonna recommend that he upgrades just for the obstacle avoidance in hopes that he no longer crashes his drone. but I will say the obstacle avoidance is far superior to that of the Mini 3 Pro. And if you want to go ahead and see a full head-to-head comparison between the Mini 3 Pro and no holds barred, like obstacle avoidance comparison between the Mini 3 Pro and Mini 4 Pro, be sure to leave a comment down below. I'll do that, and we'll do it till one of them actually crash and is no longer operable. I'll absolutely do that for you because I want to see how much that's actually improved. And overall, I will say the improvements are definitely very noticeable in that department. All right, so all that's fun and well, but let's talk about the cost that you're going to pay for the Mini 4 Pro. So the base version with the RCN2, this is the RCN2, $759. That's with the base RC. If you want to buy this with the brand new RC2, $959. And if I didn't make mention of it already, this now has OcuSync 4. It seems like all new DJI drones are going to be equipped with OcuSync 4. For the Fly More combo, you're going to pay $1099. That's with the DJI RC2, $1099. And if you want the Mini 4 Pro long battery life, that's those extended range batteries, the Fly More combo, that is going to set you back $1,159. So the prices are, they are what they are. I mean, things are just across the world in the global economy are more expensive. That's to be expected. So you really have to think to yourself, do you have the budget to spend $759? I think the previous generation was $659, so we're looking at about $100 more, if I'm not mistaken, for the Mini 4 Pro over the Mini 3 Pro. But as I stated, if you have a Mini 3 Pro, there's no need to run out and purchase this unless if you're looking for a fantastic backup drone to, like, say a Mavic 3 Pro or an Air 3. And because the sensors are so similar, I don't think it's going to be enough for many people to notice. And if you're somebody who just is on the fence of considering whether you buy the Air 3 or the Mini 4 Pro, that's where the decision becomes harder because the image quality is so similar. But if you want to see a comparison between those two, I do have a video coming out later this week that's going to compare the Air 3 and the Mini 4 Pro as far as image quality. And honestly, it fooled me, and I think it's probably going to fool you as to which drone was which. But anyways, that's going to do it for this video. Like I said, I'm pretty impressed with it. I think it's a fantastic drone for what it is. I think, like I said, biggest thing is if you are somebody who's looking for a drone, your first drone, great choice. If you're somebody who is wanting to upgrade from a previous generation DJI product, this is a fantastic choice. What it's not for is for those of us that already have a drone, unless you need a backup and you need a fantastic small travelable, that's not even a word. Travelable is not a word. If you need a small drone to travel with, then this is a great choice. But anyways, I'll have some links down below where you can check out the Mini 4 Pro for yourself. If you have any questions, I will absolutely do the best I can to answer them as quickly as possible for a little while. And I will see you in the next video. Stay original.
I heard they checking for me, no one checking on me, so I had to go run up a check. I got the message on me, you know, flexing on me, my attorney gon' call and collect. Blessings on blessings for me, my successes only made them envious, they got upset. I had to put all their egos in check. I want the money to